Thank you for the opportunity to share during such a meaningful weekend. Almost a year ago, I stood in front of another large group of people to speak. The difference was that group was composed of about 500 men in matching yellow jumpsuits sitting in a prison in Gulu, Uganda. Between the bars and the walls, the Westmont soccer team had just finished playing what would prove to be one of our most memorable games of the year. As we shared post-game stories of faith, we marveled at God's creativity to use a game like soccer as a medium for human connection and joy. And we realized God was teaching us something about his character and consistency. That he's the same God in a dirt prison courtyard as he is in the tree-covered hills of a Santa Barbara college campus. Gulu was one experience I was fortunate to learn from. And for many seniors here, we have grown through Potter's Clay trips to Mexico and study abroad programs in Europe, South America, or the Middle East. As we developed an extended sense of curiosity and a broadened theology of service, we experienced God's patience with us as learners. We were stretched and uncomfortable, but chose this kind of education in order to better understand new ideas and cultures, and thereby be grown in our capacity to respond faithfully. Before rushing to meet self-imposed obligations to change the world, we have been encouraged to be changed within whatever facet of the world we fill, willing to listen and be expanded further still. While these experiences have taught that God does not reside foremost in Southern California, the ways we have been changed are manifested in how we interact with those immediately around us. At Westmont, we've sat in the library, thought about studying for one more midterm, and decided to cry instead. Yeah, you know. Then a friend showed up and said, "I get it. Here are some Cheez-Its. I will help you study." Unexpected experiences sometimes broke our facade of control, and it was a roommate or a classmate who offered a ride, prayed with us, or simply gave their time to share in the minutes of uncertainty. In these relationships, we learn more of God's love, more of his compassion, more of his willingness to serve. We've been free to ask hard questions, to make mistakes, and to continue doing so. As a byproduct of this process, we learned grace. This process also included learning to honor God in whatever we do. We've been taught to see the holy in the study of doctrine and faith, but also in biology, history, and English, trusting no subject evades the presence of God. When describing the call of God, Dorothy Sayers claims the first call of the carpenter is to make good tables. If carpenters delight in their task and offer their struggles and satisfactions to God, then they honor their Creator. There is no need for a phrase such as secular vocation when we are faithful with our resources, skills, and the tasks we find joy in. There are 367 different experiences of Westmont that will walk across the stage tomorrow. And our responses to God's call will manifest in 367 distinct ways. We are different. But at Westmont, we have shared a common ground, a sacred space of vulnerability and growth. We've witnessed God's goodness, but also shared times where we questioned where he was, or the validity of our own perspectives. Through both types of experiences, we have come to know God more, even when it was a process that took time. On the soccer team, one of our coach's favorite mantras is trust the process. This is not very comforting when you are being told to get on the line for sprints again and again and again. But in training fitness, we also trained in discipline, unity, and sacrifice. As graduates, we will again be called to trust the process. The process of not being in our favorite jobs tomorrow, of maybe not knowing what tomorrow holds. But in this uncertainty, we trust the skills and experiences we have gained will serve not only as a completed 4-year degree, but as a foundation that will pervade all we move forward into. This foundation of learning has been guided by professors diligent in their fields and in care for their students. We have been the beneficiaries of years of study, not our own, as professors have shared long-developed perspectives and also been brave enough to share the unpolished realities of difficult situations. My sophomore year, I sat in physiology with Professor Alex Moore. As many of you know, he was undergoing a treatment for Crohn's disease at that time. That semester, he chose to stand at the front of the class and told us to hold nothing tighter than our faith. No expectation, event, or personal capability. Regardless of our situation, he warned against letting fear paralyze us, and instead encouraged us to always keep moving, to keep thinking and acting in faith. In these situations, professors have invited us to witness the congruence in what they profess and how they live. And again, we learned. We learned to not only recognize conceptual shortcomings, but to suggest creative alternatives. In these ways, we bound tight the fabrics of learning and purpose. Our thoughts were both deepened and refined. At Westmont, we have come to see this process of learning as a gift. Lewis Hyde recounts the tradition of gift exchange between the Massine people in the South Sea Islands. He first describes the American concept of gift giving as a linear two-party exchange with the expectation of reciprocity. We receive a gift to possess it. The Massine people have an opposite notion. Their gift giving is an open system with many people, and that frees the act of giving from the emphasis on receiving. The only rule is that the gift stays in motion. It is passed forward in the cycle of giving. The gift is about relationships, not receipt. At Westmont, we have received a gift, but it is not ours to own. It may seem counterintuitive, but the final step of receiving a gift is to give it. And this way, the gift lives. As we leave Westmont, I hope we go out in generosity, with hearts grateful for what we have received. I hope we go not seeking ownership, but eager to be conduits of knowledge and beauty, enjoying them, being shaped by them, and infusing them into new arenas. And as we work these concepts out, mess up, and try again, I hope that we will move closer towards Christ and discover again and again that we have come to know Him more.